Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And welcome to the reading practice and vocabulary builder portion of Straight Path Academy Arabic Volume 1, Reading Arabic Letters. This activity has been designed to be the bridge that leads a student from step 1 to step 2 of learning the Arabic language. In that step 1 is learning the Arabic letters, and step 2 is when those letters come together to form words. So now that you know all the letters required to read Arabic, now it's simply a matter of practice so that you can get better and better at reading while also memorizing vocabulary. And this portion of the book was designed to help with both of these goals. So throughout the book, you saw exercises like these, which required you to write the transliteration so that you could check your answer in the back of the book and make sure that you're reading properly. But now that you know all the letters, we're going to use real words and also provide their definitions. And all of the vocabulary words that we're using here are from Straight Path Academy Arabic Volume 2, Vocabulary and Grammar. So once you complete all of these exercises, improve your reading skills, and memorize the vocabulary words, inshallah, you will be ready and well prepared for Volume 2. So it's actually only 3 pages of vocabulary words. First we have verbs, of which there are 20. Then we have nouns, of which there are 28. Third, we have adjectives, of which there are 16. And lastly, we have prepositions, of which there are 8. So once you complete the exercises in terms of reading and memorizing the meaning of the vocabulary words, you are officially ready to move on from Straight Path Academy Arabic Volume 1 to Volume 2. So before doing it on your own, let's try a few examples together. Category 1 are verbs. So we're going to approach this the same way we approached the previous exercises, except now these are real words with their actual definitions. So first, of course, we're going to practice reading the word, but then we need to memorize it alongside its definition. So step 1 is we identify the letter. This wave shape with a dot above is the letter kha. So we write a K, H for the letter kha. Above the kha is a fatha, so we write an A for the fatha. So together the kha and fatha would be pronounced kha. Kha. Next, this line extending down, not connecting to the letter after it, is the letter ra. So we're going to write an R for the letter ra. Above the ra is a fatha, so we're going to write an A for the fatha. So together the ra and fatha would be pronounced ra. Ra. And finally at the end we have a wave-like shape with one dot beneath, meaning this is the letter jim. So we're going to write a J for the letter jim. And above the jim we have a fatha, so we're going to write an A for the fatha. So the jim and fatha together would be pronounced ja, ja. So all together this entire word would be pronounced kharaja, kharaja. And this is a verb that means he exited. So your first goal here should be completing and memorizing all 20 of these words. Nouns is the second category. So let's try number 2 together. First we identify the letter. This cracked line is the letter kaf. So we're going to write a K for the kaf. Beneath the kaf is a kesra, so we'll write an I for the kesra. So the kaf and kesra would be pronounced ki, ki. The next letter is this shape here with 2 dots above, meaning this is the letter ta, so we're going to write a T for the ta. Above the ta is a fatha, so we'll write an A for the fatha. So together the ta and fatha would be pronounced ta, ta. Next we have a straight line that does not connect to the letter after it, meaning this is the alif. So we're going to write an A for the alif, meaning this would be pronounced a, a. And finally we have this U shape with 1 dot beneath, meaning this is the letter ba. So we'll write a B for the letter ba. And above the ba we have tanween dhamma. So we'll write a U for the dhamma and N for tanween. So the letter ba with tanween dhamma would be pronounced bun. Bun. So if we read all of these letters together, we would say kitabun, kitabun. And this word means book. So this exercise of nouns contains 28 different words that you're going to need to read and memorize. The next category is adjectives. Firstly, this snail-like shape with no dot above is the letter sad. So we'll write an S with a dot beneath for the letter sad. Above the sad is a fatha, so we'll write an A for the fatha. So the sad and fatha would be pronounced like saw, saw. So next we have this smushed circle shape with one dot above, meaning this is the letter Ghain. So we're going to write a GH for the letter Ghain. Beneath the Ghain, we have a Kesra, so we're going to write an I for the Kesra. So together, the Ghain and Kesra would be pronounced Ghi, Ghi. Next, we see this shape here with two dots beneath, meaning this is the letter Ya. So we're going to write a Y for the letter Ya. Above the Ya, we find a Sukun, meaning the Ya has no haraka, no vowel sound coming directly after it. Finally, the last letter we see is this line that extends down to the left, which is the letter Ra. So we're going to write an R for the letter Ra, and above the Ra is Tanween Dhamma. So we're going to write a U for the Dhamma and N for Tanween. So the Ra with Tanween Dhamma would be pronounced Run, Run. So if we pronounce all of these letters together, we would say Saghirun, Saghirun. And this is an adjective which means small. So you're going to need to complete this exercise of 16 adjectives. And then lastly, we have prepositions. So firstly, this hook shape with no dot above is the letter Ghain. So we're going to write an A with this little arrow above representing the letter Ghain. Above the Ain, there is a Fatha, so we're going to write an A for the Fatha. So together, the Ain and Fatha would be pronounced Gha, Gha. Next, we find a straight line that does connect to the letter after it, meaning this is the letter Lam. So we're going to write an L for the letter Lam. Above the Lam is a Fatha, so we're going to write an A for the Fatha. So together, the Lam and Fatha would be pronounced La, La. And then finally, at the end, we find what looks like the letter Ya, but does not have two dots beneath it, meaning this is the Alif Maqsoora. So we're going to write an A for the Alif Maqsoora, which is pronounced like the letter Alif, A, A. So if we pronounce all of these letters together, we would say Ala, Ala, which means on. So the last step is completing the 8 prepositions, reading and memorizing them. And remember, you can always check your answers in the back of the book. This is officially the end of Straight Path Academy Arabic Volume 1, Reading Arabic Letters. Allahumma barik, congratulations, and I just want to say great job. This really is an incredible accomplishment. And while this is the end of Volume 1, it's really just the beginning. Because now that you know the letters and you can practice reading, the real journey begins now that you can memorize words. And then those words are going to come together to form sentences. And the further you go, the more you'll understand, experience, and appreciate regarding the Arabic language. So if you enjoyed and benefited from Volume 1, then inshallah I encourage you to continue on to Volume 2. Throughout each volume of this series, I utilize the same basic teaching techniques. So inshallah, if this style worked for you, then it'll also work when you are learning Arabic vocabulary and grammar. So inshallah, I'll see you all for Straight Path Academy Arabic Volume 2, Vocabulary and Grammar. Jazakumullahu khairan. May Allah grant all of you success. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.